And I'm going to ask you if it's anything like this in the Philippines.
Yeah, sure.
Facts about being in an interracial relationship or marriage that nobody is going to tell you but me. So listen up. Your white partner is going to experience a decline in their white privilege, and it is going to cause a crash out like you have never seen. And here's the thing, they don't even tell the white people this. They get blindsided by it too. And the way that it works is wild. Speaking from my experience and how it went, you meet a guy, and on either side, it can be fetish, lust, like, love, whatever. Then they take you around their white friends. And now, black women, what you need to know is a group of not racist white men, especially young white men, are always going to be cool. They're always going to think you're hot, you're cool, be totally down with however you're representing yourself and whatever. Because white men in their white privilege have the freedom to think however they want to think. It's when the company gets mixed that things start to get hinky. And by mixed company, I mean those same white guys plus their white girlfriends and wives, white family, white coworkers, white friends. Then the dance starts because you have people who are on different levels of privilege, class, and power. And they're looking at you and they're trying to place you, and it better not be above them. So now you, as the black girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or whatever, wife, have to do a dance. You have to position yourself between stereotype of what everybody wants you to be so that they can be comfortable in their white superiority delusion of this is what a black person is and that's what I need to see to know that I'm here. But you also have to be assimilated enough into white culture that you're not deemed a threat, that they can relate to you, they understand you, they see that you are parroting certain norms and things that they know that they can relax a little bit. So it's a constant dance because do not walk into a room full of insecure white people and be all that and a bag of chips. Oh, you in danger, girl. Because if you walk in there and you're not playing their little game that makes them feel good about themselves, if you walk in there and you are intellectual, you have poise, class, a great job, you're well educated, style, if you're not afraid of them, if you're not seeking their approval, if you are unbothered, they are not going to like that. And they're going to start looking at your white partner like, how dare you bring that here? And in order to keep their community of white delusion thriving, they have to remove any perceived threats, actual threats, anything that is not vibing in that collective understanding of who they deem themselves to be. And so that decline, that dismissal from white privilege is going to hit your white partner hard. They are going to get social backlash, stop being invited to things. Their family is going to start haranguing them about keeping you in line. Their buddies are not going to come over because their wives don't like you. There's going to be a lot of.
I'm a I'm gonna pause it right there. This is the first video that came up, and I decided to show it to you because I had a similar
Mm-hmm.
experience. Maybe it was very recently, like 2 months ago. I had a very similar experience. So when I was working at my last job,
Mm-hmm.
there was this white guy. He was real cool, but I could tell he had a little racial edge to him. Like he might have been racist, but since he was around a bunch of
Oh.
black people, like he was very aggressive. But me, I'm used to being around like tough, aggressive people. So he kind of gravitated
Mm-hmm.
towards me because he had like an attitude problem. But you catch your attitude with me, I just laugh at you because I'm not afraid of anybody. Like if it comes to it, I could get down. I'm definitely a tough guy. So after the months pass, he gravitates towards me, and I hang out with a bunch of black guys, of course. And he's over there, hanging out with the black guys. Everything's getting along. Everything's going real well. But towards the end, when I was leaving, I'm gonna be honest. What I think, people like me. You see, I talk a lot. I'm very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Never start trouble with anybody. So I think when the black guys found out that I was leaving, like they just all decided to disperse and go to different crews with other black people. So
Oh,
2 weeks before I left, I'm the only black guy on the crew. Like they all just started dispersing and going other places. So I'm hanging out with the same white guy.
oh,
And now I'm hanging around the white people though, you know? So one day we were all in a circle talking. It's me and his five white guys. You know, I'm not thinking of nothing because like I said, first of all, I can defend myself verbally and physically if I need to. So I just go ahead, you know, I don't seek anybody's approval, like she says. I'm just talking, you know, letting them know because this is right before I went to Thailand. So I'm sitting there and, you know, telling them about the world, telling them about all the places I've been and all this stuff. And, you know,
mhm,
everybody, you know, I know I'm intelligent. I know that, I'll just say that. I know I'm well articulate. I know I'm intelligent and I'm just going right,
mhm,
and I'm just talking, and we're talking about a bunch of different things. I'm telling them a bunch of things for the things I know about the world and you know politics, history, because we weren't doing anything. I'm
mhm,
talking about talking for an hour, and homeboy, I don't know, man, he just felt like I guess he felt like I was shining too much or something. Like I was just he seen I was more articulate than him, which I already knew I was more intelligent than him, and I think he felt offended by it. And since he was surrounded by other white guys, he decided to say something racist. So check this.
oh,
We're talking about I don't know, maybe it was politics or something. And he
mhm,
says well, I want to visit a place like Iceland or Norway. There's no violence there
mhm.
because there's no black people there. And he looked at me.
Oh,
And I looked, and you know, like we've been going good for all these months, and you're gonna do this. I never said anything racist to you around the black people. Never even had that type of
mhm,
energy. Now you're around your people, and you're gonna say something like that. And you know, when somebody says something, you automatically get upset inside. But I wasn't gonna say anything racist back because trust me, there's things I could say back. So I just looked at him like, you know, I pointed at him like, you know, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And you know, there were other people there. They were always sitting there waiting to look to see what I was gonna do. And I was like, I'm not gonna say nothing racist about white people because these other four guys have nothing to do with the situation,
yeah.
and I don't want to offend them. So he was like, oh. So when I looked at him like that, he was like, oh, you know, what I meant was in places where everyone's the same, they usually don't have a lot of violence. And like I said, I know a lot about the world, so I was like, you know, Sweden is more socialist, and in socialist societies, they typically don't have those problems because you know the rich and poor dynamic is not as big. So you know, I just kept it
Mhm,
intellectual instead of going uh, racist with it. But I always tell people, like, when you're around white guys, they're the coolest people ever. Like
mhm,
they're cool, no problem. But the issue comes up when you get around a group of them. Because when you get around a
yeah.
group of them, that's when they start looking at each other, trying to figure out if they should be talking to you, if they should be hanging to you. I'm talking about there's been plenty of times I've been at work and me and a guy have been working together for weeks, laughing, having the best time ever.
Mhm,
And then it'll be like a safety meeting or something, and we all gather around. And you know, I come over, walk to him, try to you know continue the conversation from the day before, or laugh with him, and he'll be sitting there like, and he'll look at the other white people, and the other white people be looking at him, and I'm sitting here like, seriously, like this is how it is. But I don't know. I was curious. Is it like that in the Philippines as far as like lighter skin Filipinos and darker skin Filipinos, or does everybody? What I'm saying is, if a darker skinned
mhm.
Filipino comes in and they're super intelligent, do y'all lighter skinned Filipinos all look at each other like should she be here? Should we not talk to her? Should we? Do y'all do that? Do y'all have?
So
I know y'all have
actually, it's
colorism. I know y'all gotta have colorism there because y'all bleach y'all skin.
yeah. Yeah, we do have colorism here, but it's not that a big of an issue here in the Philippines. However, the only difference is that when it comes to city girls versus province girls, so that's where some problems show up. So, say for example, if a province girl or a girl from the province went to Manila or somewhere in the city part of Luzon, And then she have friends like Manila girls or city girls, and then if there's only one province girls and she's surrounded with city girls or Manila girlfriends, and if she appears to be more intimidating, more knowledgeable, sometimes that's when the problem starts. Because some group of Manila friends were like, oh, she's trying to be like socialist, she's trying to sound like more intelligent than us. So that's
Hmm.
the problem here, not the entire colorism, but where we came from. Because for me, I came from the province. So if I go to Manila, sometimes I feel so insecure about the women there because they're trying to appear more intimidating. So again, if I join a group of friends in Manila, and then I appear to be, sound more like intelligent. And then if I share something that, hey, I went there and here and other countries, and say, for example, one of them hasn't gone out of the country, they were trying to like create a different, sub friendship group,
Hmm.
and they're trying to talk back. Like, hey, she appears to be this and that, and she came from the province. She's not really good at this and that. That's the experience that I had with Manila girls. So it's not entirely with the color.
So, but over time, I would assume that those boundaries would break down and you'll be able to assimilate into the group because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
y'all are all Filipino. But
exactly.
it's not so much like that for African Americans and white Americans because they're gonna put up their walls and all the privilege and all the nepotism and all the
Mhm.
through relationships everybody get advanced up and us over here we don't get that we just gotta look at them like really it's like that. But I mean you get used to it. I guess you get used to it like over time. Even like I was talking about,
Yeah.
I was um I was in Kansas City, and there's not
Mhm.
Kansas City, Kansas. There's not a lot of black people there, and every time I went into a Walmart, I'm not gonna say every time I went into a Walmart, but too often, whenever I went into a Walmart, people were like following behind me, trying to make sure I wasn't stealing stuff. I'm like, really? But I'm gonna go to the next
It
video,
still
man.
happens.
But I can say this: when I don't think when Asians come to America, y'all have the same problem. I mean, if y'all come in, we already expect y'all to be intelligent, like